Boom. Hello. Yes, this just in. Well, not really. Fake news tonight. The damage, the attacks, the ruthless aggression. It has not stopped for my dinosaur deck on Magic the Gathering Arena. Explorer format Pioneer, as it always is. This lovely, fantastic dinosaur action happening tonight with a pretty big, massive, a very exciting new card. Well, it's not a new card, it's a reprint from Tarkir, but hopefully everybody's doing well. It's Friday, so that's pretty decent. Hopefully you had a good week, but even, I'm off the screen here. I'm usually on this side, right underneath the download, but if you didn't have a good week, if you didn't have a good day, we're going to have a good time right here. Always a good time, especially because we're going to win in a lot more cases. The list in the description, the Discord, the link tree to the Discord, and the primer, because most of you know what's going on, but you might think this is too crazy. I just whipped this up. This is not the case, and we have a couple of changes, a decent amount of, well, a fair bit of changes to talk about, tweaks, really, because the main idea doesn't change too much. You get there in a stable way, and you bash them, you beat them up. Off the top, Sylvan Scrying back in, replacing Herd Heirloom. No. I finally bit the bullet and put this thing in, which is better than Herd Heirloom, and I'll tell you why exactly. Picture this scenario, which is, if you see a Herd Heirloom, at least when I did, it was a Sylvan Scrying guaranteed. That's what it replaced. So I could, think, hey, how would Sylvan Scrying have felt in these scenarios? And about the most simple one I could give you guys. You have a hand that is Sunken Citadel and Castle Garenbrig and Herd Heirloom. Not good. 3 mana. Whew. But you replace that heirloom with Sylvan Scrying, and all of a sudden, it's not 3, it's 6. 6 for a creature, because you get to, activate Castle Garenbrig. You have to wait until turn 3 after the Sunken and Castle Garenbrig are untapped. But turn 3, you cast the Sylvan Scrying to grab the second Sunken to play it as your land for the turn. And then turn 4, boom, you make 6. You might make 7 if you draw a land for the turn. And you could be playing the Vaultborn Tyrant. Lovely stuff right there. But you could also be still sitting on 3 if it was Herd Heirloom. So this, only with this particular way to play dinosaurs, because you're not really looking for a specific combination of lands to make an efficient, explosive amount of
ruthless aggression.
I can tell you it's been a lot of, well, not a whole lot of ruthless aggression, because I haven't been getting there. And I don't really want to add in the Herd Heirloom in addition to Sylvan Scrying. That would be overkill in ramp. And potentially Craterhoof Behemoth, reprinted recently with Tarkir Dragonstorm. That might be overkill, but in a lot of cases, I haven't been quite getting there. And this will get me there for sure. Is this the best effect, the best creature, the best option for me to increase the power of everybody? I could give them all, +2/+2. I could give everybody power and toughness increase based on the most powerful creature, that sort of thing. But this synergizes quite nicely. Oftentimes they drop a bunch of creatures. However, it is very important with this. It can happen during or after a Ghalta turn, which I think is pretty applicable. You don't have to have it down before. That could be rough later on. You're waiting for something to top deck, and you top deck something that you wish you had seen earlier to get it down to get the value, but boom, you get this. Maybe just maybe you have a Palani's and a Regisaur Alpha with 5 tokens, dinosaurs and the dinosaur eggs. Boom, the Craterhoof Behemoth lands, and everybody is... They get +6/+6, which is quite insane. And they gain trample too. Palani's Hatcher and Regisaur Alpha don't have that. And, well, Carnage Tyrant, Vaultborn Tyrant, and T-Rex do. But this, boom, 8. We know I can play Ghalta for 8. Craterhoof Behemoth costs the same. Yeah, I'm used to it, definitely. But Craterhoof Behemoth does move Verdant Sun's avatar to the side. I still want to keep it in. I'm very happy about the potential of this to stabilize in some cases. But in some cases, we're just going to absolutely crush them, especially with the Hornet Queen. With the Craterhoof Behemoth, maybe I play the Hornet Queen first and then the Behemoth afterwards. I have 6 creatures, but all the insects to get +6/+6 in trample. Now that is deadly because it's death touch. So even if they have flyers, I only have to deal 1 damage to the flyer, and 5 damage would continue on to the opponent. That it would be death. Sometimes this swarm of insects is death eventually because the opponent might only have creatures on the ground, but it's a lot of creatures in one, which certainly makes sense with the Craterhoof Behemoth, and Hornet Queen has also saved me in the past too. People just, well, you can't attack into it because all 5 of these things will trade with anything due to the death touch. And the Ulvenwald Hydra too, if I want the game plan to go a little bit faster, play this on turn 4, hopefully grab that other Sunken Citadel and supercharge everything. And then back to nature as well. Now I have lost to aggro once or twice, but it's still not common, really at all, which is... Oh my goodness, that's too bad coffee. Oh. But yeah, I really would have expected Mono Red to creep up in popularity after its fantastic tournament result there, but it's still all over the board. Mono Green Devotion is pretty rough for sure, but perhaps the Craterhoof Behemoth is going to allow me to plow through and devastate Mono Green Devotion at least a little bit more than I do right now, which is, well, it's not a whole lot. Oh boy, hopefully it's an Azorius control to start. That'd be pretty cool. SJ Mad 23. Something black related, I would imagine. They have the hand hate making you discard cards. I would bet with the Liliana avatar there. That's pretty safe to say. Could also be mono red. It's okay. We are on the draw, so 3 chances to get the Sylvan Scrying, the Commune, or another source of green for Archdruid's Charm. And I did just remember an additional land that I put in tonight, and I forgot to talk about it. Maybe I'll remember after. Oh, I knew. I should have listened to my gut, but Archdruid's Charm, of course, is gone. It's going to be a pretty low chance to beat him now. Well, at least I know I won't keep a risky hand in game 2, that's for sure.
Dang! Oh!
Nope. Oh my, where's Leyline of Sanctity to give myself hexproof when you need it? Well, it's not too bad. Could draw a Sunken next turn and a Sunken the turn after that, and it would just be a hilarious destruction, devastation. That's really the best they can do. I don't feel so bad because they're not stumbling as bad as me, but drawing a Palani's Hatcher and a Regisaur Alpha is certainly quite rough. It wouldn't have mattered anyways if the Archdruid's Charm has if the Archdruid's Charm has stayed in my hand, I wouldn't have gotten to that 3rd land. And I wouldn't have kept that hand if Castle Garenbrig was a forest or something like that. No, it would not have made sense. Well, we won't quit now. Could all of a sudden flourish and They haven't been as aggressive, so it does feel certainly a little bit better. Unholy Annex probably coming out. Okay, yeah. Draining us for 2 because they do have a demon with Blade of the... Oh, where is... There's nothing. There's nothing. 5, 2, 7... No. We're not going to be making that work. That is just extra wacky. Not the best way to start off, but we'll bring in the Hornet Queen, I would say. Trim T-Rex. Kind of like Craterhoof Behemoth. You know what? I'll keep the Behemoth. Yeah, okay. Got a good feeling about this. Now, the Hornet Queen could be quite fantastic against what appears to be mono black demons with all the 6/6 flying demon from the ritual chamber there. Ooh, no. Ooh, oh. It might take a whole other match to... Okay, well, that's definitely going to be it. Yeah. Well, we'll see. But yeah, it might take a whole other match just to get a very fantastic style. I don't have a thought... Not a thought seize. I didn't give much thought to keeping this hand because I knew right away 2 Sunkens. We only need to see a Castle Garenbrig and we're making 7. And now with that forest, we're going to be making 8. Could be a Sylvan Scrying, a Archdruid's Charm, you name it. Kishla Village, that's actually the card, the land that I had added tonight and forgot to mention. We'll play it, it always enters tapped, but the Surveil 2 is actually going to be quite interesting, which I can activate with Sunken Citadel there, just to see what's on top, just to get 2 turns closer to the thing that I'm looking for. I was a little bit worried there that perhaps, I would top deck a Castle Garenbrig and I wouldn't be able to have it enter untapped just because the Kishla Village there is not a forest type land, but now we get to activate it, Surveil 2, hopefully find it off the top. 2 turns closer sometimes is really just going to be all the difference. Pretty much need Vaultborn Tyrant next turn to have any sort of hope. No, Commune? Hey, no, Commune. Commune is good. Commune should find us. Definitely Castle Garenbrig, I would think at this point. And I still would be able to play Vaultborn Tyrant. Let's go. Oh, Castle. What's it going to be? Ooh, no Castle. Well, that's certainly kind of rough. Well, we'll grab Ghalta because I would expect to draw Castle Garenbrig next turn, especially with the Surveil of Kishla Village. I've done Surveil 2, I sent 1 to the bottom. It's probably coming up. Yeah. And now we might just be dead. They are hitting us for 6. Drain for 2. We're not quite dead yet. I mean, it's certainly going to be close. Archfiend of the Dross, well, that is certainly quite problematic. No, it has... Sylvan Scrying would be able to get us Castle Garenbrig, but it would only have 7 for Vaultborn. And that's just not going to cut it. That's not going to help us win. I have to hope that I draw it off the top, which I did not. Draw it off the top. Yeah, no, those tough matches, rough goes, they happen. Fortunately, I did not drop below Diamond 3. The win I had just before I started here tonight got me to Diamond 3, so you have 1 loss prevention, which is pretty nice. Kind of like I didn't lose. I still did lose, so I guess in a sense I could perhaps eliminate those losses if I don't go down anything. But no, I'm not going to eliminate those losses, pretend they didn't exist. I want to have the complete accurate picture this month of April. just to show it at the end. And I think I probably will continue to do that. Track every single match that I play all the time. Data is sometimes pretty important. Maybe not so much when you've been doing one thing as long as I've been doing. You can evaluate stuff pretty quick, but it's just interesting because I've never tracked it quite so closely. Playing on the stream on my computer plus my phone, just combining everything. Okay. It took us a whole different match to get a pretty darn fantastic hand, I would say. Hopefully. Oh, yeah. Might as well quit right here, but we'll give it an honest effort. See if we get a count. No, we don't. Yeah, Tyrranax Rex. Regisaur Alpha. Nah, we're going to be playing Vaultborn Tyrant before any Regisaur Alpha, but of course we're going to be dead by that point. Oh boy, the Manifold Mouse. It's a great classic 1-2 that they always seem to get. Wonder how big that mouse is going to grow this turn. Wonder how many monstrous rages the opponent is going to be dropping on that. Yeah, don't worry, I'm tapped out. I can't kill nothing. Monstrous rage, monstrous. Oh, just the Bone Crusher Giant. This is pretty hilarious. That what are you doing? We're still dead next turn, but no. Oh, that's sunken. Doesn't exactly help anything. Yeah, no, that's how she goes. The Manifold Mouse was going to 4 power with double strike. That alone hitting us for 8, taking us down to 1. Bringing the Hornet Queen, Ovenwald Hydra. Yes, please. Craterhoof Behemoth. Don't exactly need that because we just have to survive until they don't. Really. Yeah, T-Rex. Now this is a lot of non-dino stuff. I still absolutely consider it to be a dinosaur deck. Regisaur Alpha and Palani's Hatcher, everybody gaining haste. Sometimes this opponent, definitely this type of opponent, could kill you on the very next turn. You have to attack with the Ghalta if you survive to put it down. Maybe they have a little bit of damage straight to the face. Well, that's a possibility. And you got to get it done. And you'll be kicking yourself if you don't give everybody haste. Yeah, certainly could be a whole lot worse than that. Could be a whole lot better, but I like an Archdruid's Charm. We're hitting a very critical amount of mana with the Stomping Grounds and the Castle Garenbrigs. An explosive amount, which is really where we want to be. I'm not taking a ping. Get the Stomping Ground down. I could have gone Sylvan Scrying, but on turn 3, I wouldn't have been playing the Sunken. It was always going to be Castle. Archdruids for the Sunken. Play the Hornet Queen next turn. Maybe we can salvage something. Hopefully. Of course, the creatures that they have out, they can get trample pretty easily with the Monstrous Rage and the whatchamacallit. The mouse that gives double strike or trample, I believe it is. Now we'll wait and see. Oh, they see the bread. Maybe they think there's going to be removal. Maybe they won't pump yet, huh? They want to chip away, test the waters. Phew. We survived with 12. But again, there's probably something up their sleeve there. That dastardly monstrous rage. Okay, well, we got to get the queen down. A monstrous rage got banned in alchemy, I think it is. Maybe it got banned. No, maybe it didn't get banned in standard. It's a good card. It's a good card. And again, we could just simply be dead. The Heartfire Hero could get quite massive, and it will die to the Bone Crusher Giant. Interesting. But if they pump it up, it will be destroyed, defeated by one of those insects, dealing damage to us equal to its power. Yeah. I wish. It is very aggressive. But fortunately, at least in Explorer, Pioneer, I don't face it as much as I thought it would. Maybe tonight is going to be the change. People have finally picked it up after, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that tournament, Arena Championship or something like that. Yeah, if I have to adapt and tweak things, for sure. But honestly, it was maybe once a day, once every other day that I would face any sort of aggro opponent. So having a ton of stuff specifically for it didn't exactly make too much sense. Yeah. Oh, look, we're still dead. Yeah, no, that's how she goes. Darn mono red. Nothing much you can really do about that. You have to hope you have at least 3 pieces of single target removal. Even if you have a sweeper, just play even one creature afterwards to recover, and one creature is enough to do it. So that's a pretty tall order to ask for, 3 pieces of single target removal, or maybe 2 pieces of single target removal plus the sweeper. You really would want 3 to 4 pieces of removal, but to ask for that early on, because you need it early on in the first 1 or 2 turns. To see that consistently, your deck would have to be a third of just removal, probably even more than a third of just removal. Kill the creature, get them done. Of course, you get to have big creatures yourself, but that didn't always do the trick for me. And perhaps I should revisit that as well. Pugnacious Hammerskull, Regal Imperiosaur. Pugnacious Hammerskull especially. 3 for a 6/6. Very good, but that is just 1 of 4. Chava Control, that feels like I've faced this person before. Hopefully, it's not an opponent being funny and playing mono red, making me think it's going to be Azorius with that Teferi avatar. Ooh, well, you know what, that works. With the Commune, digging hopefully for Castle Garenbrig. Oh, well, I guess it is maybe mono red. Hooray. Oh, Rakdos, no, Rakdos Aggro. Okay, so it only took about, 2.5 weeks for people to get it together. Nah, we'll go with Sylvan Scrying, not grabbing a Sunken. Not doing that. And hope we find what we need. Prowess again. Hooray. Yep, off the Manifold Mouse. I mean, we're not going to quit right yet. We do have a very explosive potential, but it's better than the previous opponent, the first game. Oh boy. I'm not that infuriated. Okay. Well, I wasn't playing any creatures that turn, so you just lose. You just lose. Well, Craterhoof Behemoth, no. T-Rex, no. Still keep Vaultborn Tyrant, the life gain and all that good stuff. Verdant Sun's Avatar, because it's a lot of life that we gain. Hornet Queen doesn't really do much of anything. So we'll also bring in the Ulvenwald Hydra, because like I mentioned, we play that on turn 4 for 6, grab another Sunken, increasing the chances and the ways to get to that explosive amount. I wish Scorpion, that Fanatic of Ronus, was available in Explorer Pioneer. It is only legal in Timeless and Historic, I think it is, being released in Modern Horizons 3. Very, very lovely potential. It's something I would like to try if I do Timeless a little bit more. It's reasonable. We're reaching 6 on a very critical moment. Turn 4, so it should do the trick. Should it be commercial district? Yeah, we'll go with that. They don't really have to do much of anything. Huh, that is interesting. I'm pretty sure I would have been using it if it was. No. Can't be illegal. I would have used it already. I would have tried it at the very least. Alright. 6, Ulvenwald. We only need to see Ghalta, Stampede Tyrant, and we might be able to win one of these 3 games here. If it goes to 3 games. Yeah, it might not be updated, perhaps depending on the website you're seeing it, or... Oh, yeah. The super duper aggro deck also gets to have access to Thoughtseize. Hooray. Oh, are you serious? This shouldn't be a thing, but I guess it is. I guess it is. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. I think we got a chance here. I'll try to play Carnage Tyrant just because that is going to be absolutely scary. Maybe the opponent thinks I'm raging so incredibly hard that I'm going to quit because they did that twice. But okay, get going. What do you got? It's pretty straightforward. Cast it, pump the things up, and maybe they're cursing themselves because they kept something they shouldn't have. They ran out of gas. They got rid of potentially the wrong thing, seeing their mistake. I wasn't playing Regisaur Alpha before Carnage Tyrant, but that's on the opponent. Yeah, I tried punching through this. Guess the plus another Carnage Tyrant on the top. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now the one thing, perhaps the Kishla Village, that could have been something that entered untapped in this particular instance. I could have been able to make 7 for Vaultborn, but it was one commercial district. I trimmed one commercial district, which always enters tapped. So this new land also would have entered tapped. And they're going to quit right here. Pretty simple. Yeah. Whew. Right, just do it again. So, let's get revenge. I'm drinking a San Pellegrino natural sparkling orange and blood orange beverage. It's kind of like a grapefruit or something for anybody curious. Yeah. Tasty. Got it for my wife just as a little bit of a treat, but it wasn't quite her thing. Ooh. That hand is not quite my thing, because maybe one more land. Commune will get the 3rd, then we'll get the 3 for Archdruids. Gotta be better. Oh, it's worse. Oh, okay, it's better. I say forest and... well... you know what? Ulvenwald Hydra we don't exactly need. We'll play Sunken Citadel as the 3rd land on turn 3. Castle Garenbrig on turn 4. Able to make 7. I would rather keep Ghalta just for the potential of maybe popping off. The facilitator of popping off if we happen to survive until turn 5, which probably will not happen. Could be dead next turn to 3 monstrous rages back to back to back. That's a very real possibility. But now with the Ulvenwald Hydra, things kind of changed a little bit. I'll keep that. Play it turn 4, make 8 on turn 5. playing Sunken Citadel next turn really wouldn't have done a whole lot. That's not great. The Quarry Steel Cutter. I knew I would face it at some point. Yeah. Okay. Hooray. Hooray, we lost again to aggro. But that Quarry Steel Cutter wrecking Standard, absolutely devastating it. I was a little bit worried. This will certainly push aggro even further over the edge that it already is over. It was already amazing, and now they have this lovely equipment from Tarkir Dragonstorm. For 1 in the red, equipped creature gets +1/+1, trample and haste. That's nasty already. If the creature wasn't having trample, but now it's painful. However, when you cast your second spell each turn, not their turn, each turn, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess, and you may attach this equipment. Completely synergizes and elevates everything they were already doing. They did not need this as a package, but they got it. they got it. All right. It might honestly be time to dust off Culling Ritual. Culling Ritual in the main. We'll be able to hose anything small, not necessarily aggro. You got some little enchantment stuff like that. Culling Ritual for 2 a black and a green. Destroy all non-land permanents with mana value 2 or less. That means you mostly destroy that particular deck. They do have the odd thing that is above a mana value of 2, but for the most part, you're taking out 3, 4, maybe even more with that Quarry Steel Cutter there. And you're making 4 or 5 green mana, able to cast an Archdruid's Charm after you've swept with the Culling Ritual. I think that is quite fantastic. That hand also quite fantastic. We see 1 Sylvan, we're good. 1 Archdruids, we're good. Commune with Dinosaurs to dig for it. Oh, lovely. Or we just naturally draw the Sunken Citadel and we're making tons of mana. And I don't have those cheap early plays, the instant and the sorcery that grabs me lands. So it's protected against the potential turn 1 or turn 2 hand hate from this opponent if they are in black. You can't watch the thing get discarded if it's not in your hand at the moment. I don't really care too much if Regisaur Alpha or Palani's Hatcher goes down. Oh, is it okay? Maybe it's not that. Look, there's the Sunken. Good. Maybe it's not Rakdos Aggro. I don't think so with the Footlight Fiend. I wouldn't imagine that's the case. Interesting though. Greasefang, perhaps? Looks like this opponent might be... Well, their wildcard budget might be a little bit low. Simply playing these 2 things, both commons, not super common to face it if you're facing off against somebody who has, wild cards and has invested in stuff. Somewhat surprising. Okay. Fable is pretty straightforward. If you don't have all the copies and you like red, well, that's what you're doing. And what we're doing next turn is definitely a Vaultborn Tyrant there. We should be safe. We're only at 16. Taken 7, I believe. Could also be an Unholy Annex from the opponent, but still, we're playing Vaultborn next turn. Oh, we're not, I guess. Or they'll make that mistake and get rid of Regisaurs or Palanis. Oh, do it. Oh, you want to. Yeah, come on. Yeah, that's what's coming up. Come on, you want to do it. Oh boy. I got the clip ready. Huh? Tick talk. Or maybe they have another Thoughtseize and perhaps they'll get rid of Vaultborn, but I won't say the oops quite yet. Okay, that's not too bad. And they used up Mutavault as well. I figured we would be hit by that, taking another 2, but now it's 2 less, and I think we will be able to stabilize, especially if I can get 1 more land. Possibly play the Craterhoof Behemoth. That would be nice indeed. But now they know the oops. The big oops. Now I throw the oops out. Kill it. I dare you. It would be tempting to play the Craterhoof next turn. It's going to certainly be Tyrranax Rex. Now it could be Commune with Dinosaurs. I could dig for my land for the turn, still play it, and still have enough for T-Rex, but I don't exactly want to risk that. Sometimes I do. I wouldn't be able to play anything if I didn't find a land with Commune. Oh. Okay, well that's not great. Not too great. 1 black to exile it. They sacrificed a creature and they have a decent amount of tiny creatures to sacrifice as fodder. So 1 black is pretty decent. Oh boy. Ooh, Obnixilis. This is... Opponent has not gotten the hoof yet. Tonight, Commander Crane. It's not looking too hot for the good old hoof, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Not Palani's Hatcher. Well, you know, I kind of like Palani's Hatcher. It does make sense synergizing with Craterhoof Behemoth. We'll get rid of Commune. Yeah. I don't really want to take 2. Yeah, Archdruid's Charm. I got stuff to play. Go with Palani's, you know, maybe survive, that sort of thing. Hope there's no fatal push. But maybe if I get a land next turn, could play Craterhoof, have a bunch of creatures. Could be deadly. You never know. We'll send one of these tokens toward the Obnixilis that we could kill. I don't imagine Reflection is going to block, so maybe we draw out that fatal push that they've been holding on to. Eventually. Okay, that's pretty decent. It at least makes me feel a little bit better they don't have 2 Obnixilises. 1 is bad enough, but both of them stacking up, draining, or choosing to drain. I could discard a card, but we're going for 9. Well, yeah, no. I'm going to try for Craterhoof Behemoth next turn, if I get there. If I don't, I still have T-Rex. I would rather not go to 7. Things are getting a little bit scary at the moment. Even though it appears to be some bargain bin. Rakdos. Maybe it's not. Or they have removal. Oh, yeah, no. It's pretty good. That creature that they sacrificed, the copy of the Immerstrom Raider, it would have been sacrificed anyway, so it's not like it was a total loss for the opponent. Yeah, I'll take it at this point. Hoping to play Craterhoof next turn and deal even more damage if I can maintain... Oh, well, I can't do that. You know what? Perhaps Tyrranax Rex could get the job done by taking out Obnixilis. That might be nice. Let's just take it out. See what happens. I think there is a slim chance we could survive until next turn. Maybe play Ghalta. Whew, Ghalta putting the Craterhoof out. Extra deadly. Yeah, I got 2 blockers for the 2 Mutavaults. Maybe. It's going to be close, though. I mean, I'm at 5. It's not that scary. Just make a bunch of copies of your... Oh. Well, that is scary. That is problematic, to say the least. But we have one chance here. Pretty much one chance. I decline. I want to keep both. Our only chance is to make 8 next turn. Yeah. It's got to be Ghalta. Craterhoof Behemoth in this moment. If I had to choose between the 2, that would be certainly more helpful. But I guess I could have kept both, gone down to 1. No, that's... Oh, hey, ooh, huh. Hey, it happened again, Commander Crane. Hopefully this doesn't... Man, I wish... Ghalta, that would have been good. Hopefully this is good enough. I don't know. We'll find out.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
But that's a pretty good token. And the egg. Look at that egg. Maybe I should... That would have been pretty cool to go down to 1, keeping Ghalta. Oh. Crack the egg. Crack them wide open. Oh, it's enough. Huh. But this is a very important point, and a point I forgot to make. In desperation, you top deck a Ghalta, and you don't have anybody that can give haste, because, they kill Palani's Hatcher and they kill Regisaur Alpha very easily, or they get rid of it, mistakenly thinking it's the creature that's coming up first that I'm going to cast, which does not happen. But that's another thing. Hoof. Clip clop. Tick tock. Egg absolutely was the MVP. But going back to that point, picture this. I play Ghalta. I don't do a whole lot. I play Ghalta and I swing with an 8/8, a 3/3 without trample, and a 0/1 with nothing. But instead, I play the Craterhoof, and I get to attack with a 9/9 trample, a 12/12 trample, a 7/7 trample, and a 4/5 trample. Craterhoof over Ghalta in this case, definitely better. And I should look for a sort of a hoof meme, something with cows. I don't know. The boon, yes. Oh, I know. Scorpion. The boon would be lovely. Boon Beseju. Whew. Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe it would be kind of extra, but hey, they missed the lethal, and it was certainly a lethal mistake for them. I just have to do it again, and perhaps search for something that is not aggro. Mono red, Rakdos, and then this interesting Rakdos Demons opponent. I know. I think there should be at least 1 copy for Archdruids. Again, I may not keep all 4. I wanted to see it as often as possible so we have all 4 copies, but also if you put 2 down, which I could put 2 down with Ghalta, that would be absolute overkill. But you know, seeing multiples is not an absolutely terrible thing. No one in their right mind probably has maybe ever put 2 Craterhoofs out, but you can just imagine the absolute table flipping that perhaps would occur if you did it to an opponent. Definitely, the boon on an egg would be, devastating. It would be devastating if I kept this hand, probably. But I can make 8. Like I said at the start of tonight, I can make 8 easily for Ghalta, so Craterhoof, even for just that reason, fits in pretty strong. 2 boons in hand, that would have been nice. Oh, we got the scary Footlight Fiend. Oh boy. That hand seemed pretty reasonable, and I did not want to mulligan another time. But now with 2 Archdruid's Charms, I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to be making a decent amount of mana. We'll go with Commune next turn just to see if there's a Sunken on the top 5. Play it as our land for the turn. Then we'll really be cooking. All right. Sunken. Ooh, it's not a Sunken, but a Castle Garenbrig is basically just as good. Pretty much, I would say. Yes, I do remember you. Oldies, music. I think so. Been a long time. There's a lot of, people go back and forth. Life goes on. But I always crush them with dinosaurs. I haven't seen Buried in the Garden, no. I forget what Buried in the Garden does. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good. It looks like they're stumbling a bit. Definitely stumbling in the land department. Hopefully they don't have something that makes me sacrifice Carnage Tyrant. Of course, it's always a possibility. Shieldred's Edict being a common, rough stuff. Okay, well, hey. Draw a Sunken for the turn, play it. Lovely. I think they could make me sacrifice it. But I feel there's a pretty good chance that they just have some targeted removal, so Carnage Tyrant will stick around. Oh. Okay, well, that's alright. You're not doing a whole lot. I do appreciate it. Of course, people around the world, sometimes you don't tune in, and even people in North America, it's kind of rough because I do what I do late at night and you're already asleep, but that's all right. That's right. I'm doing good. I hope everybody is doing good always, and yeah, having a good time. Not so much tonight, just because rougher than I would have liked, but not as rough as this opponent is still being stuck on 2 lands, kind of like I think the first match. I don't know. They've all blended together tonight because they've gone by so fast. Not always in my favor. Yeah, just in real life, it's going good. Working construction, love it. I get outside time and then time at the computer. The best of both worlds. It's not like I spend an overly large amount on one specific thing, but I don't know. Yeah, Vaultborn Tyrant. That's definitely what we want. Come to think of it. Maybe get an Archdruid's Charm. That would be... Oh, a Ghalta. Oh boy.
Get him a body bag! Yeah!
Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, then the hell with you.
I should look up Buried in the Garden. Huh. I think you mentioned it before. This opponent is going to quit right now. It's nice to do the thing. Of course, if some of you are new, you might think, this is not doing the thing often enough, so perhaps it's not good enough. But you could have streaks where your deck does not do a thing if it perhaps is something specific. Certainly more of a lower curve, more general bodies, traditional dinos, Commander Crane, that would do the trick in a different way. Definitely. I was gonna send the eggs. Whew, I know, it's rough stuff. What time is it? Ooh, 11:35. I think we'll chat about cards, or chat about anything, you want to, as we look up Buried in the Garden. I won't do another match just because it's a little bit later than I wanted. Yeah. Okay, Buried in the Garden. All right. Any other crazy things from Tarkir Dragonstorm? Perhaps I could have done a little mini set review, my most interesting ones, but honestly, it was just Herd Medallion Herd Heirloom. That is a very good question. I do have an answer. Kind of have an answer. For whatever reason, I've always just loved the idea of focusing on one thing, but also doing something that not many other people would do. Not that it makes, a person better or worse, but just it invigorates me knowing that it takes willpower and determination and grind and grit to do something over and over and over again, and just be proud of doing something so many times. Thousands, tens of thousands of games, honestly, it has been by this point. And yeah, that point alone, those few points just keep motivating me. And knowing that people can perhaps not watch me for a while, or watch the streams not live. Maybe you go away for a couple months, when you come back, you know exactly what you're going to get. Nice ruthless aggression, lovely time chatting with people. Right now, later on, you can leave a comment if you're certainly watching later on. Maybe you are passed out many hours before I started because the week was long and you had to get some rest, kind of like I did last night. It was 9:30 p.m. Actually, it was probably more like 9 o'clock or 8:30. So, out like a light. Woke up at about 4:30 in the morning. So, I was tired. The reliable aggression. Of course, I'm perhaps expanding it as time goes. But this just definitely sticks. Doing construction videos, of course I probably should separate the channels, but part of me wants to just keep everything. Even though maybe something wouldn't be game related. I don't know. I've always thought about that. The more content, the better, at least in my mind. If I like to make it, if I'm at least proud of whatever I put out, perhaps it wouldn't have as great of a reach, but here for the person. Watching these dinos does, sometimes it relaxes me, it gets me a little bit fired up. Perhaps it does not translate to everybody watching, but on the inside, it is a little painful to lose to Aggro twice in a row. But it's just something different, something I like to do, and keep doing it. Why not? Honestly. Now, what was I on? That was a good tangent. I think I might clip up that section and put it on a YouTube short or something. If you're seeing this from YouTube Shorts or from a separate video, don't forget to take a big bite out of that like button. This is preloading for the future clip that I make later on. But Buried in the Garden. After that very lovely tangent, see if I can type buried properly. We'll get to... Oh, yes, okay. I think I looked at this before. A white, it's not hard. I can splash for any color as long as it's one of that color. 2 is asking a little bit much. Okay. Enchant land when this aura enters exile target non-land permanent you don't control until it leaves the battlefield. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of any color. Removal. a temporary removal, but this is an enchantment that is removing it. And oftentimes the thing just never comes back because the opponent doesn't have a way to get rid of it. It'll depend on the situation. Certainly a sideboard option, but it could be main board. You know, you're exiling anything. Artifact, planeswalker, something very key to an opponent's strategy, which you wouldn't normally have something in to stop, but this does stop. And even if it takes out a reasonably sized creature, you're taking them out and you're still getting one closer to whatever plane you're doing. It doesn't have to be dinosaurs, of course. Yeah, pesky Vein Ripper decks. I appreciate hearing that comment. And I have had a bunch of couples watch, multiple people, join, even if you don't play dinosaurs, of course. I'm going to keep going. Even when nights are tough, it's always a good time. You always got to focus on the good time and how good, at least my situation is. I can't complain. I get to do this. I've got kids, wife, all of it. Doesn't have to be super complicated. Just appreciate what you have and appreciate where you're at, and then keep striving for greater heights, I guess. Yeah. Guess that's about it. Not a trained motivational speaker, but I can get a good couple snippets out. But Buried in the Garden would snip opponents' chances, I think. And I guess snip kind of goes along with gardens, plants and flowers and whatnot. But yeah, just the overall get rid of something, even if it buys you a couple turns until the opponent gets removal for Buried in the Garden. That might be all it takes. Code it. Hey, we could talk about CODIS? Absolutely. It's a Friday. It's a little bit loose at the end of things. Maybe I don't have CODIS. Perhaps I'm not spelling it right. Probably I don't have a single copy of it yet, but we'll take a peek. We'll take a peek. Oh, yeah. This thing. Okay. 4 for a 2/1 indestructible. The Sultai, one of the Sultai legendary creatures from Tarkir Dragonstorm. Indestructible is just very good. There is an indestructible ooze. A predator ooze. Something like, I think it might be that. 3 green, 1/1 indestructible. Whenever it attacks you, put a counter on it. But either way, it's a creature indestructible. It can block forever. Kind of like this. And whenever CODIS deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards, where X is the amount of damage dealt. Cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without pay. Of course, you would need to support it with certain things, buffing CODIS, giving it trample so as much damage would continue on through, maybe giving it flying, but a monstrous rage would be pretty good, although that would be in red. Adding a 4th color, not so much. I would have to imagine people would want to be buffing it with green spells, a Voltron. Now, how easy would this be to fit into that type of deck? Needing a black, a green, and a blue. It's got to be that. Maybe somebody is going to break it. It absolutely has potential. Perhaps you're a little bit worried about getting it to 6, 7 power. You lean into making it 4 power, that sort of range, and you only have perhaps 4 or 5 power cards and less in your deck. So anything you see off the top with its ability, you should be able to cast it. Yeah, play the other player's deck. Who doesn't love that? Maybe you feel kind of bad whenever you do it. And it's fun. It's fun. You can boon him. Oh boy. Maybe I should drop this with Ghalta, Craterhoof. Of course, that would be overkill at that point. I don't know. I might have to take a... I'm not going to use this specific legendary creature, but I might have to take a little bit of a closer look at Tarkir. Dragonstorm, nothing still just absolutely jumped out at me other than that Herd Heirloom and possibly the Craterhoof Behemoth. Nothing has jumped out quite like the Vaultborn Tyrant. It's going to be pretty hard to top that for excitement's sake. It's how amazing is that? The second I saw it, it was in and it never came out. It basically, it never comes out. And the odd time I've tried it, but when a thing stays in all the time, absolutely perfect addition, it feels pretty good. And kind of bad, because, you know, nothing is quite gonna reach the highs of devastating, ruthless ruthless aggression. Absolutely ruthless. It does kind of look like a USS Enterprise. To Infinity and B Dino. Yeah, to Infinity and B Dino. Okay. What time is it? Yeah. I guess we'll leave it there for now. I had a good time. Hopefully you guys had a good time, especially Scorpion. Thanks for the suggestions and everybody else's kind words. Yeah. Hopefully your Saturday goes good if you're watching this in the morning or the afternoon or whenever it is. Yeah. Peace. Have a good one.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?